Welcome everyone to this video where we'll be looking at Firefox playing versus Kvoth, Hades versus Thor on Yellow River. Now this is supposed to be a difficult matchup for the Hades player, but Firefox is playing this phenomenally well, so we'll be looking at his perspective this game, see how he manages to get such a nice performance in against potentially the best player playing right now. Arguably so, since he won the last S-tier tournament, right? So, a lot of you probably know this build order by now. You send 3 villagers onto gold, 1 onto wood, and then 2 over onto food. And you notice what Firefox did here. He uses his Catastropos to lure the Orc in. The reason why he does this is so that his villagers doesn't have to spend time doing so. So Firefox values idle scout time instead of having idle villager time. And it's really nice, because as soon as these villagers are produced, they can instantly just go on to the food source here. So let's take a look at what he does with his build here. Well, first of all, he's just scouting around his base. He wants to find this hunt spot, this gold mine, and this TC. So everything he's looking for, second gold, second hunt, second settlement, he's found it already. And for what it's worth, he's also found a relic, which is not great versus Norse. But that's good. He's found all of that, and that means now he can move forward. And take a lesson from this, guys, when you're doing your scouting. Ask yourself, what is it you actually want to find when you're scouting? And for Firefox this game, he wants to know, as soon as these animals are depleted, where do you go next? He'll go here. When this gold mine is depleted, where do you go? He'll go here. And when you're looking for a second town center to build, where do you go? You'll go here. So he's found all of this, and now he is looking for Kvoth's side. Where can he attack? What is his map looking like? Is there anywhere to raid? What is he up to? You know, trying to deduce what's going on. And in terms of build order, by the way, kind of forgot to follow along here, but as soon as he got 150 gold, he started building the temple, and one of the villages went over onto wood. And every single villager that he's producing is just being put onto food. So this is honestly not a difficult build order. There is some difficulty in the beginning because you have to move villagers around a bit. You need to do the little trick with the Catastropos. But other than that, as soon as you get out of that first step in the game, it's a perfectly fine build order to make. If you're decent at the game, and if you practice this build a bit, I'm pretty sure you can pull it off. But yeah, Kvoth, you see, him scouting Kvoth's side of the map has also netted him 6 gold here. And also he's figured out that Kvoth's base must be over here. So he did a bit of some weird scouting here, but that's because of Yellow River. It's such a weird spawn sometimes. Hard to figure out what's going on. He's got to be a bit careful with the Catastropos here. Only 26 HP remaining. And we see Balls of Erebus is being researched right now. It's a bit late, but Firefox just likes doing this. I think you can get it sooner than this, obviously, if you put more villages onto favor, more onto wood as well. But if you do that, you're not gonna have as clean a build in the Archaea Gate, and you'll have more villages moving back and forth. So I think Firefox just values having the clean build here. Also, really nice early Pegasus here. We are watching Yellow River. It's a huge map. So having this Pegasus just to clear out the black spots of the map, it's amazing. The Catastropos right now, maybe just looking for, seeing if you can sniff out what Kvoth is up to. He's playing Thor, so there is a good chance that he may actually want to go for a 2 TC boom. Good chance he can get away with it versus Hades, but yeah, Catastropos is trying to sniff it out, while the Pegasus is just clearing out the black parts of the map. So Kvoth goes up through Athena, immediately builds a stable. This is a bit unorthodox. Usually you don't see Hades players doing this, but he's queuing up Achilles as well. And we do see Ajax moving up for Harmonious Necklace. Guys, whenever you see this relic on the map, you gotta go for it. And Firefox knows it, and he's doing it. And a military academy coming in as well. So this is going to be a pure melee army from Kvoth. Going to be very, very strong versus the Norse army. So long as he can get his Minotaurs, his heroes, his Hibius on top of the throwing axemen. He should be able to win these fights against the Norse player. The issue when you build Toxotes versus Norse early on is that up until you have a certain mass of Toxotes, they are easy pickings for the Norse player if they have some raiding cavalry. If you've got like 20 Toxotes and a lot of frontline, the Toxotes become a lot better. But what's really nice about building just melee units at the beginning is that you cannot just pick off units quite as easily. And so we do see archery range being built here as well. So it's like just a bit of everything is what Firefox is doing here now. But do notice that he's valuing the melee units at the beginning. And it's in large part because if you send Toxotes forward, they can oftentimes just die without really accomplishing much. So we're looking at the Katascopos over on this spot, seeing if Kvoth goes for this town center, this gold mine. And over here, we're killing off the Aurochs just so Kvoth cannot do that himself. And also so these animals start rotting ever so slowly. Another really good relic pickup here, so while you're here with the Achilles, may as well grab it, right? And 6 minutes into the game, nothing much is happening. A lot of you are probably thinking this is terrible for the Hades player, because everyone knows that Thor, when he is left uncontested, he's very, very strong, because he gets all of these armory upgrades, and for every armory upgrade he gets a free dwarf. Even a fourth one coming in as well now. But you gotta keep in mind, Hades has got a nice bonus himself, and that's the Vaults of Erebus. So we've had Vaults of Erebus ticking in for ever since like 3.5 minutes or so, maybe 4, I'm not sure. But for a long while, Vaults of Erebus has been ticking in. And Firefox is hunting as well. He's hunting these Aurochs. Meanwhile, Kvoth is actually hunting still. But as soon as these Aurochs are depleted, he's gonna have to go on to either chicken or berries. And it's not gonna be quite as efficient. And also, Firefox forced the tower upgrade coming in for Kvoth. So that's a nice win for Firefox as well. So it's definitely true. You look at the villagers up here. You see 27 to 25, 28 to 25. 3 villagers ahead for the Norse. And keep in mind, Norse only starts with 2 villagers versus 3 for the Greeks. So this is looking good for Kvoth, but at the same time, he is being strangled a bit here. This gold mine is going to be depleted very soon. The hunt is going to be depleted. And then Kvoth has to figure out what to do. Because outside of his base, Firefox is just spamming units. And he's got great vision of this hunt, of this gold mine. Probably should send this Toxotes a bit to the right. Either way, it's a strangle strategy being performed here from Firefox. So here we see, this is what I'm saying, the dwarf is on berries now, 0.64 gather rate per second on the berries. Looking at Firefox, he's getting 1 food per second. So the efficiency of these villagers compared to the efficiency of these dwarfs on berries, it's like, what even is it? It's like almost 50% higher, I think. For the dwarves, 64%, almost 50% higher, which is crazy. So even though there are 10 villagers on berries here for Kvoth, and even though he is ahead in villager count, you gotta keep in mind that the fact that you can hunt while the Thor player is picking berries, means that this villager discrepancy isn't actually as high. So now Kvoth has made a move over here, and Firefox is destroying the wall, and he's moving up here, and he's now forcing the dwarves to go back. And this is another thing. Forcing so much idle time on the gold miners right here. That's lost resources as well. So once again, we look up here, there's a 6 villager lead for Kvoth, but these villagers are idle. They're moving back and forth up here. And these villagers are on berries, which is very inefficient. Now Firefox is going to make a move up on the top side. It's got the Pegasus here, could move it up here. Kvoth, by the way, spamming upgrades. He's got 5 armory upgrades to his name. And now this is crucial what you see from Firefox here. he's now adding in Minotaurs to his army. And this is really difficult for the Norse player to deal with because there are some Toxotes now that can focus down the Hearses, and there are plenty of Hibias and the Hoplites as well that can also target down the Hearses. Crucially, we also see Sarissa being researched from Firefox. And this means that the Hoplites can also kind of target down the Hearses a bit. And once again, Kvoth is forced to move his villagers. Well, he's got dwarves on both the bottom and the top side now. But because of all the disruptions that Kvoth has made here, it's a bit of a miss-macro that Kvoth has bound himself into here. He's got 23 on gold. He doesn't want all that. He doesn't want 23 on gold. And now, yeah, Kvoth is moving on the top side, loses, or actually kills a dwarf with the Minotaur special there, kills another dwarf. And once again, more idle time forced onto these dwarves here. Idle time on the villagers. And once again, we see up here, still 5 villager lead for Kvoth. But all in all, when you consider the fact that berries have been picked, the idle time constantly ever since that first gold mine was depleted, I think Firefox is perfectly fine here.
Yeah.
And another thing is, this army composition that Firefox is doing is a bit of a ticking time bomb for Kvoth. Because the more Minotaurs are put into this army, we see 4 Minotaurs in total right now. The more Minotaurs there are, the more difficult it's going to be for Kvoth to deal with. We look at Kvoth's army, it's 7 Hearses, 10 Berserks, 9 Throwing Axemen, and a Troll. He's got a lot of towers. Interesting little strategy here from Kvoth to defend this position. But either way, 8 Hearses versus 4 Minotaurs, it's not going to be enough. Labyrinth of Minos being researched now from Firefox. Well, pre-queued anyways. 5 Minotaurs, and they're going to be upgraded before you know it. Also, Heroic Age coming in. So when this upgrade comes in, obviously the Minotaur is going to be stronger. When Heroic Age comes in, the Minotaurs are going to be stronger too. Firefox sees the towers now, knows that it's going to be hard to push through here. There's Trolls, there's Throwing Axemen. We'll see how Firefox deals with this. But yeah, like I said, 6 Minotaurs here, and 2 crucial timings coming in. So I think probably Firefox wants to wait for these 2 power spikes. Also getting copper weapons for good measure. So, wow, he's even sending villagers forward. 8 villagers being sent forward. I wonder if we're going to see a forward fortress still with Sentinel up. I'm almost certain of it. That's got to be the play here. Look at these Minotaurs with the sun glaring on that X, on that golden X. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be it. A forward fortress. Question is if he's going to make a move, an aggressive move on the wall while he's building it, or if he's just going to chill and maybe build it right here. Heroic Age is in, and there is that fortress. And this is so... yeah, I think a lot of you can really learn a lot from this game. Once again, it's 7 villager lead for Kvoth. 7 villager lead. But we look at the score up here, and it's quite close. And even though Kvoth has that amazing economic lead over the Hades player, because of all the aggression that Firefox has put on this game, because of having constant map control, he's now allowed to put down a forward fortress like this. Could see a Frost here maybe, if Scott is almost in. Frost would have been so brutal right there. But it's just like seconds off. It's crazy actually. But yeah, having map control. But when you're playing versus Thor, you're gonna have map control because the Thor player has to wait so long for his power spikes. So utilizing your map control to be hunting is really, really crucial. Sick raid here from Kvoth. The Berserks are so good at raiding because they deal so much damage. They're not the best in fights because they're very vulnerable, but when they get to do stuff like this, they're very strong. This is now a 16 villager lead for Kvoth, but at the same time, 2 Petropolis are in now, and these are gonna do wonders right here. They're gonna get so much value in right now. Constant value ticking in, and Chiron coming in as well, huge. Sentinel is still available. Resto still available. As well as Curse. Is that just... Oh, Curse used on the Berserks, surely. Yeah. 9 Berserks. Really good use of Curse. So now, this is an interesting situation. Kvoth is pretty much forced to go aggressive here because of the forward fortress and the Petropolis just getting constant value right here. And when you're Kvoth, when you're playing Thor versus Hades here, you don't really want to go aggressive because fighting under a fortress is never a fun thing. But he's forced to do it. He's forced to invest into the portable rams, and now he has to dive here. It's gonna be really, really hard. Sentinel used, Frost used, crucial fight going on right here. 3 portable rams. Really good job from Kvoth getting these out before using Frost. And with it, he's able to now take down the fortress. Got the 2 Frost Giants as well. Actually doing a really good job taking down the Sentinels, so... Looking alright here for Kvoth. But the issue is the Frost isn't doing much in terms of damaging Firefox's army. It's just sitting there, and they all have 99% armor, so they're barely taking damage. And when the Frost is over, gotta keep in mind there is still restoration available. The Petropolis is still here for Firefox. 3 Petropolis still remaining, so it's a sick attack here from Kvoth, but the villagers are still there. The Petropolis are still there, as are the Minotaurs. It's such a high value army that Firefox has got here, but the Frost doesn't do anything to them. Literally all Kvoth got there with the Frost was taking down the fortress and 3 Sentinels. But now we're back to square one. And we have restoration still available for Firefox. Surely want to see it. There it is. Need to micro these archers away from the portable rams. A lot of missed DPS here. You see here what I'm saying? The Minotaurs are tanking so much. And when you're playing Norse, you don't want to invest too heavily into heroes at this stage, because heroes are kind of bad against regular units. They're very bad, in fact. And so, Firefox is just winning here. He's got the prime units. All the myth units, the heroes, the Petropolis, and all the nicely upgraded Greek army is just running over Kvoth's army at this stage. I don't know what happened up here, but we do see Firefox just with a really, really sick map control here. And once again, we're back to Petropolis getting so much value in for Firefox. See what I'm saying? The Minotaurs in the heroic age for 528 HP. Oh, and even this, I said this this relic wasn't very useful, but I think it's kind of good here, to be honest. Tanking the TC Fire, Hill Forts, Towers, with that extra Pierce armor for sure. It's not bad. And now, with the Pegasus in place, Firefox knows that Kvoth is up here. Now Kvoth has to defend this gold mine while defending the 2 Petropolis on his main base. And look at this, the Minotaurs in the heroic age deal so much damage to these dwarves. They're fast, they deal a lot of damage, they're tanky. And up here, even more Minotaurs. These things got nerfed a few months ago, by the way, but they're still super useful. Super useful for tanking up damage. Especially versus Norse, who are really bad at countering myth unit spam. And this is so interesting. Firefox is on 1 TC this entire time. 1 TC versus... Well, Kvoth was on 2 TCs for a lot of the time, but yeah. You can still play 1 TC games in the current patch. Hades certainly... Oh my god, look at that special attack. Hades certainly one of the better gods for it. Because he's got the fortress, the forward fortress with the sentinels. He's got the Walls of Erebus that sort of allows him to have a good economy even though he's still on 1 TC. Kvoth actually fighting back here. I didn't expect that. He's fighting back, but at the same time he's losing his main base during the process. It's a full infantry army from Kvoth, so I would love to see some high pacifists coming in from Firefox. Also the Gothi are targeting down the Minotaurs. So actually what would be really sick here would be Peltasts, high pacifists. Peltasts to deal with the Gothi and the throwing axemen, and then the high pacifists to deal with everything else. And of course Minotaurs still. This is kind of sick. I didn't expect Kvoth to actually be able to push back here, but he kind of did. Looking at the villager distribution, Kvoth did definitely lose some villagers in the process, but he fought back. Is he on 0 TCs now? I think he is, yeah. But that's definitely not a good place to be in. Another fortress being made here from Firefox, another sentinel coming in as well. This sentinel recast, by the way, 50 favor, it's so cheap. Look at these sentinel, they deal 12 pierce damage per second, and they're actually decently tanky. We do see the Peltasts coming in for Firefox. Just gotta micro these units, and they're so effective, even versus Norse. Yeah, look at that. All the throwing axemen are dying like flies here. And before you know it, there's gonna be... Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be more Petropolis coming in as well. So... Kvoth is still sitting on 0 town centers. Pegasus is in place. Sees the temple, sees the gold mine, sees the settlement. And I think Firefox knows at this stage that he's winning. He's just slowly expanding his economy while Kvoth is struggling. He's sitting on 47 villagers with no town center. So many lessons to learn from this game, by the way. The Pegasus, the having the vision of what your opponent's key resources are looking like. And then just the awareness that even though you're behind in economy, or at least in villager count, you can still win. You can still get your... if you utilize your map control well enough, there's actually options for you to still win the game. Three Minotaurs now queued up for Firefox. Still making a lot of hoplites. I don't even know why. I really think high pacifist would be just so much better. Versus the Hostiles. Gonna need high pacifist against them for sure. And interesting, if you're playing Hades versus Norse, by the way, you can use a Petropolis against the Rams. I think it's kind of bullshit. You shouldn't be able to counter melee siege with Petropolis, but you can. And with the Peltast here in place, 10 Peltasts, Firefox is able to take care of the back line, and Firefox takes it. This is such a nice performance here from Firefox, and if you go back on my channel, if you look a few months back, I used to coach Firefox, I still do sometimes, and I taught, I think of all the matchups we've looked at, it's been Hades versus Norse, that's the one that we spent the most time on. And I always tell him to do this, just let the balls of Erebus tick in. Don't be afraid of the Norse economy, even Thor economy, you don't have to be too afraid of it. Because your economy is also really sick. And if you maintain map control, if you're hunting and your opponent is on berries, you're in a good spot. And I really think Firefox has demonstrated that he knows this performance really well. Killing Kvoth in a really difficult matchup too. The sick performance. So if you like this game, make sure to like and subscribe. My name is Soup. I'll see you guys later.